Welcome to the Dream Room with Amytra, where we delve into the stories of passion, perseverance, and the pursuit of dreams. Today we're joined by Simone Arpaio, co-owner of Almare Gelato Italiano, a beacon of authentic Italian gelato in the heart of Berkeley, California. Simone's journey from Turin to the Bay Area is as rich and layered as the gelato he helps craft. Let's scoop into his story. Simone, thank you for being with me today.
Amytra, good morning. Thank you very much for coming to our place.
So would you be willing to share a story from Turin, from your childhood, that still resonates with you today?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So the reason why I'm here is that I always wanted to work with food. In Italy, grandmother culture, I would say, is very important. So growing up, my two grandmothers who were very fond of cooking put some bug in my head about wanting to cook and wanting to experiment with food and follow the food passion essentially. Mm-hmm. And growing up in Italy, that's quite easy to do at an amateur level, because you go to restaurants, you go to places, you go to people's house or to your grandmother's house, and people are constantly talking about food, they're constantly sharing ideas, and they're constantly fighting over recipes and discussing which recipe is better than others. And as soon as you move around in Italy, even as a kid, wherever you are, you notice the difference in cuisine. You notice the difference between regions, even between cities, because every place has their own specialty and their own specific food. So as a kid, I was always super interested in eating, in cooking, and in seeing how the processes, change food and change the ingredients you use and mm-hmm. transform them into food, and also how food brings people together. Usually food is important at gatherings, at like holidays and everything, and seeing how everybody around the table spend 3, 4, 5 hours eating and discussing about what they eat and everything. It's kind of a big part of the culture.
Yeah.
Then I studied biology. I went to college with something completely different, and being a professional food person in Italy was not part of my goal. But then when I came to the US, that was realized essentially. That happened.
So what are the, because it seems a little bit divergent, but maybe not, how does that background in biology inform your success in gelato?
Well, the main thing is that I studied biology because I liked the idea to study processes mm-hmm. and to study how things work.
Got it.
And live things are extremely complex, and studying it and knowing how they work and getting more and more deep as much as you can into a very complex process, it was extremely interesting for me. Mm-hmm. It helps just because I know how to behave in a kitchen. And because the process of cooking is a process that is similar to any other processes. So there is a starting point, there is some method that changes, and then there is a final result. So processes, when you study them, they are all the same. They mm-hmm. They all follow a same pattern. Mm-hmm. It's not that studying biology or studying science helped me in any way, except that I know a little bit more about the composition of food and about what fats do versus what liquid does and everything. But this is something that people that study to become gelato mm-hmm. Makers, at one point they will study. I just have a bit more of a background about that. Mm-hmm. The main thing is that it's not only about studying science and about science, but being interested in the processes.
Right.
I think that is the key.
Mm-hmm. So when I was little, my mom used to take me and my sister to our house of worship, and then after that, we would go and get ice cream. And at Thrifty's, on the way to Grandma's house, we would eat it and drive along the coast and look out at the waves and the people on the rocks and the seals and whatnot. So that's my earliest memory of ice cream. What's yours?
Memories of ice cream. Well, my best friend in middle school, his father had a pastry shop, and we were really, really, really good friends. It was like 3 or 4 of us, but I was really, really a good friend with this guy. His name was Simone, the same as me. And after school every day, we would go to his father's shop, which was on the way between the school and my house. And we would stop at his father's shop, and we would go to the back and we were able to get like free gelato, obviously,
Nice.
essentially almost every day.
That's
And if it
wonderful.
wasn't gelato, it was some other sweets. And there, when I was like, I don't know, 12, 13, 11, I don't remember what age you are when you go to middle school.
Yeah.
It's been a while. But seeing things and seeing his father, Franco, and he might not listen to it, he's not a podcast person, but I would really love for them to know that was instrumental for me, because it was seeing people making food and seeing someone with passion every day and with a lot of dedication every day creating these things that were so relevant to me and sharing them with my best friend, it was kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
So I guess that was it.
Absolutely. So how did you end up coming to America?
I came here as a tourist. We came here for just tourism. We stayed here in 2010 for a month and a half.
In the San Francisco Bay Area?
We toured all around California with my girlfriend. She's also from Turin. She was, and then we got married here. Yeah, so we toured here, and then when we got back to Italy, this was the end of 2010, we thought that it would be a good idea to try to move here. Because we saw a place that was very interesting, very vibrant, very welcoming for foreigners, very diverse. So we saw things that we really, really liked. So my girlfriend at the time started to send out resumes, and within 6 months she was called in San Francisco for a job in an Italian school, and I came with her. I met my immigration lawyer who helped us through all the paperwork and everything, and in a couple of months they hired her, and I met Alberto, my business partner, my current business partner. And I thought that it would be a good idea to invest in food. So my wife found a job in a school. I met Alberto, and within a year we were here.
How did you meet Alberto?
Oh, I just went into his shop.
Oh, okay.
I always wanted to have a business, to have something of myself.
Sure.
To have something that I could essentially personalize, that I could put a lot of passion into, and it wouldn't be just a job. So when I met him in April, then we started to work together, and it really clicked. We had a great relationship ever since the beginning, and then things started to, we started through the whole immigration process, which was quite complex and costly, and we just had a good relationship since the beginning. So it did work out, because after 16 years we're still here working together.
And what is it about his vision that resonated with you?
Well, the fact that we come from a similar culture, from the same culture essentially, and we share similar views on food, the interest in food, on having our own reality that we can manage, that we can make ours, and also about having a good work-life balance, because I've met other people that I thought about partnering with during my first trip to California. But they were all either too focused on money or too focused on let's work 24 hours a day so that we can... It wasn't really my view. My view was also trying to enjoy life, trying to have a family, and that specific view is exactly the same as he had. And also, I didn't know much about gelato. Apart from eating it and apart from having that like first-hand experience, I didn't know how it was made. I didn't know that gelato is different than ice cream. I didn't know many aspects and how complex and interesting it can be.
So how do you decide what flavors are going to be on the menu?
The menu is not. We don't really have a fixed menu. We have because we work with restaurants also, and with many different environments and enterprises. We do have more than 100 flavors. Obviously, in the store, in the Berkeley store and in the Pleasanton store, we only display 15 to 18 flavors. But in our Richmond facility that we opened about a year ago, where we make gelato for wholesale for restaurants, we can customize flavors. We make many flavors. We also do caterings for weddings, and very often people ask for customized flavors, which is very interesting. So there is no fixed menu. There are some flavors that are staples. Like in every single Italian gelato shop, you need to find stracciatella. You need to find a good chocolate. You need to find a few sorbet, the vegan, the fruit-based flavors. So there are some staple flavors that we make. We have our own, one of the biggest flavor we make is toasted almond and caramelized fig, which is a really it's a staple of our store. We've been making it since 2008, essentially, since Alberto opened the shop. He's the founder of Almare Gelato. We have pistachio that people come for, and if we don't have pistachio, they get disappointed, sometimes up to the point of arguing with our employees, because it is a really, really big flavor. It is a very expensive one. We use the best pistachio paste we find. We put it together with pistachio from California so that it's a little crunchy. So it's a staple. So staple flavor, and then we try to rotate with some seasonal ones. In the summer, we try to make flavors that are more fruity, that have maybe some yogurt with passion fruit, something that is tart, something that is refreshing. Mm-hmm. And in the winter, we make things that are more spicy, maybe something with cardamom. We have a really good cardamom custard, or Mexican chocolate, or rum raisin. So flavors that are a little bit more intense, or maybe other kind of chocolate. So flavors that are a little more intense for the colder season.
So, side note, do you have a favorite flavor?
I do have a favorite flavor. My favorite flavor is gianduja. Gianduja is, for people that didn't grow up in my city, or they're not super fond of gelato or chocolate, is essentially the same flavor as Nutella.
Oh.
Gianduja comes from my city, which is Torino, in northern Italy, and it is a mixture, essentially, of chocolate and hazelnut. Mm-hmm. They started to make it because in the 1800s, Napoleon was reigning over Turin, France. I mean, that area was France. And there was an embargo over products that were not coming from France, so cocoa powder was impossible to get, and it was very expensive. So they started to use hazelnut, which was a local product. So the fact that they used a local product and they invented a new chocolate, which we still eat today, is something that I'm really very, very happy, very proud of. We use hazelnut from Piedmont, from that area of Italy, Piemonte. And that is definitely my favorite flavor, because it is a very rich chocolate where the bitterness of cocoa powder is cut with some buttery and nutty flavor from the hazelnut. And I really love that.
Well, my favorite flavor is rose, and that's how I found you. I was at a theater, and they had gelato, and I thought I always knew their flavors, and for some reason I just looked and I saw rose. And I was like, oh, this is yummy. I have to meet the people that are making this.
All right.
So I'm very happy.
And we are the only one making it in the US. We have a special order, that specific rose. We have a special order coming from Italy. That rose extract that we use, which is made in Italy, is not sold anywhere in the US. We are the only one purchasing it in the whole country. It is very strong in Arabic countries, in Saudi Arabia, in some other places, but in the US we are the only one making it. We have it shipped specifically for us, and believe it or not, but it became a staple in many places. Like we sell gelato at UC Berkeley, we sell gelato in a small gelato shop in Mountain View, and they've been buying rose ever since we started to work together. So it's a flavor that we need to have. It started off as not as a joke, but as an experiment. Like there are flavors that are more niche, that are not particularly mainstream.
Right.
And sometimes they start off as an experiment or as let's try with this. And rose started off like that. Let's try it out.
Yeah.
And then it did become like a staple flavor.
Yes, it's very good. So Almare Gelato is known for its artisan approach. Can you walk us through the process of making gelato the Italian way?
Of course. So gelato can be made in several ways because at the end of the day, it is a mixture of milk, cream, and sugar and flavorings. The way we do it is that we make a base, which we have a company making it for us because we process a lot of it. So there is a company that makes it for us using only California milk from certified farms of really, really high quality. And essentially, the base of all gelato is the fior di latte. When you make one or two flavors at home, you would start from maybe starting with eggs and milk and sugar, and you put them all together. When you process about 500 gallons a week, you need to start with a good base. And our base is a really good fior di latte, which is essentially the white part that is beneath the stracciatella. It means flour of milk in Italian, and it's kind of a whipped cream flavor. It's only 5 or 6 ingredients. It's not something that is like it is still done by hand, essentially. The recipe comes from my business partner's uncle, who was a gelato maker in Italy for 60 years. His name was Dino, Uncle Dino. And he had a gelato shop in Reggio Emilia, and all our recipes and all our not our recipes, but all our main flavors come from his base recipe, which we still use today. So he taught my business partner, he taught Alberto how to make gelato, and making gelato by hand means making it every day. Gelato, like bread, is supposed to be made, if possible, every day. It's supposed to be made fresh on site. That is the best way to do it, which is what we do in Berkeley, for example. So every morning someone mixes together. We have really skilled gelato makers that have been working with us for years. They mix together this white base, which is the fior di latte, with, for example, cocoa powder and sugar, and they make the chocolate. Or they mix it together with pistachio paste and roasted pistachio that we grind to make the pistachio flavor. So essentially everything starts from a base recipe, and then all the flavorings in different percentages are added. It is slightly more complex than this because there are 2 or 3 different bases, but the overall idea is that you mix together the fior di latte with all the different flavors that you have, which can be 100% hazelnut paste from Italy, or even sometimes just cardamom, to have the cardamom, or this rose extract, which is a natural rose extract. Is really delicious to have the rose flavor. Then the gelato is mixed with a big mixer, like a big blender, essentially like those that people use in their kitchen, but big. And then it goes through the gelato machine, which works kind of like a refrigerated washing machine, meaning that there is a cylinder that gets really cold, and at the same time gelato is whipped and mixed together. It incorporates a little bit of air, so it's very fluffy when it comes out, and then it's frozen to the right temperature, and then it goes in the display to be sold.
Nice. Just out of curiosity, is it possible to make a non-dairy version of gelato?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, there are bases that are non-dairy. Well, sorbet is non-dairy, which means that the base for the sorbet is our own proprietary base, which is, I would say, like a syrup. So it's a mixture of natural gums, for example, guar gum or carob seeds flour, with the sugar and water. Yeah. So it is like a syrup, and then it's mixed together with fruit. So that is vegan. There are also recipes for non-dairy gelato that we have been developing. It's not our forte, it's not our core business.
Right.
And also there are people that do it as an only business. We have some vegan flavors. We have a vegan dark chocolate, which is out of this world. It's really amazing. But we do not develop like a full line.
Right. So maintaining quality during growth is crucial. How do you ensure that each batch reflects the authenticity and craftsmanship you value?
Well, there are 2 main aspects for this. One is, and which is probably the main one, is people. Because having someone reliable that makes gelato for you for 10 years, having someone that was trained and that learned how to work and does it daily, like a good baker, for example. There are many similarities with bakery. That have the same hand, that puts inclusions in the gelato when it comes out in the same way, that extracts gelato from the machine in the same way, instead of having multiple people that come and go, is really a very important feature. Having someone that knows the job, that was trained enough, that knows how to do it, is very important. And the second one is the consistency with flavorings. Meaning that if, like had happened in January, price of cocoa powder went up 20%, we still keep buying the same cocoa powder. We still keep using the same ingredients. When there were years of drought, and in 2015 there was a huge storm in Madagascar, like a seasonal storm, and vanilla prices almost doubled. We kept using the same vanilla. So the consistency in ingredients is the key to always offer the same product and the same quality over time. And it's really difficult to try to make up for all the increases that we have from rent to wages, but it is important that we stay true to the nature of our product.
Right.
So these are the 2 main features: people and consistency of products.
So looking ahead, what dreams do you have for Almare Gelato, you and your co-owner?
No, well, Alberto and I always discuss that the dream that we have actually is happening, because, we are able to have the shops that we wanted, we are able to run them with people we like, and the main thing that we realized, the main dream we had when we started to work together, we realized it last year when we opened our facility in Richmond. It is a 2,500 square facility with a commercial kitchen where we make gelato for restaurants and wholesale. So expanding the wholesale clients and being able to sell our gelato even further away than where we sell it now. We go from Ukiah to Placerville to San Jose, essentially Campbell, San Jose. Mm-hmm. So it's a widespread area in Northern California, but spreading that even further, it's our main goal. So now the process is streamlined. The people are here. Everybody's eager and happy to work. The ingredients are here. We have the place. So now we are just working our way up little by little, and while trying to keep a reasonable work-life balance, which is difficult in the summer because it's really busy. But
Simone, thank you for sharing your journey with us today. Your story is a testament to passion, resilience, and the pursuit of dreams. To our listeners, if you haven't yet, visit Almare Gelato in Berkeley or Pleasanton and enjoy a taste of Italy. Remember, your dreams are just a scoop away. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep creating, and keep savoring the sweet moments of life.